Welcome back to the Research Desk. We are coming to you, as always, from the Voxel Micro Video Labs right here in San Pedro. It is Tuesday, February 10th, 2026.
And if you're listening, you know what we're about. This isn't just a news roundup.
No, not at all. You can get headlines anywhere. We're here to execute on the broker's edge philosophy.
That's right. And for anyone who's maybe new to this, that philosophy is built on, well, pretty simple truth. In 2026, data is cheap. Information is everywhere.
It's commoditized.
Exactly. If your value to a client is just, hey, I know what building is for sale, or I know the asking rent, you're already obsolete. And AI can do that.
Yeah, a simple script can pull that data in seconds.
So the modern broker, the modern advisor, you can't just consume the news. You have to weaponize it. You have to take the raw intel from the last, say, 72 hours and turn it into authority.
That's what we call the human premium. It's the interpretation layer. So our mission today is to look at what happened over the weekend, really focusing on February 6th and 7th, and turn that raw reporting into actual usable scripts.
We want to give you the exact angles you need to get in front of a camera and film a client update today.
And we've got quite a lineup.
Oh, it's a really diverse stack. We've got a critical structural incident in Manhattan Beach that, it completely changes the risk conversation on the Rosecrans corridor.
Okay.
Then we have a massive, and market-moving new tenant requirement from Aerospace. Every landlord needs to know about this one.
A whale.
A whale. And finally, a logistics nightmare is unfolding on the I-405 that, you need to be warning your industrial clients about immediately.
It is a packed briefing. Let's jump right in. The first story. This is the one that was all over the local wires late Saturday night. We're talking office, crisis, and maybe opportunity.
It's a delicate balance, for sure.
Yeah.
But yes, there is opportunity if you handle it right. So, late Saturday night, February 7th, a major incident in Manhattan Beach. We need to unpack this one.
I saw some of the footage on social media. It looked like a movie set, honestly.
It really did. So, according to the reports, just after 7:45 p.m., a really severe two-car collision at North Redondo and Rosecrans. Now, anyone who drives that area knows how fast traffic moves there.
Oh, yeah.
The force of the crash was so significant, it sent one of the vehicles, it sent it veering off the road and straight into the Deloitte building.
And it didn't just, hit the facade and bounce off. It actually ignited, right?
Correct. The vehicle caught fire, and that fire spread to the structure itself. Now, before we get to the real estate side, and this is important, the good news is that while there were 8 minor injuries in the cars, no one was inside the building.
Which is a miracle.
Oh.
A 3-story office building on that corridor.
Yeah.
If that happens on a Tuesday afternoon, it's a totally different conversation.
A completely different and tragic conversation. But from a CRE perspective, we have to look at the aftermath. The building has significant structural damage.
Right. So building and safety has to come in and assess the whole thing.
Exactly. The LA County Department of Building and Safety. And this is where we have to pull back and look at the bigger picture, the market context. We've got the January 2026 NAR Commercial Real Estate Insights report right here.
Okay, let's dig into that a little. Because the office market hasn't exactly been on fire lately. If you're a landlord, structural damage is the last thing you want to hear.
It's the very last thing. Nationally, office vacancy is hovering around 14%. The report literally calls the market stabilizing but fragile. We're seeing landlords leaning hard on concessions-free rent, TI allowances, just to get deals done.
The tenant has all the leverage.
All of it. So you have a market that is economically fragile, and now, for this specific building on Rosecrans, it's also physically fragile.
That's the perfect way to put it.
And that fragility, that's the angle. I know it sounds a little harsh, but an incident like this creates what I call a narrative vacuum. People are talking about the crash, they saw the fire trucks, but nobody is talking about the real estate implications.
That's the space a broker needs to fill.
That's it.
Okay, so let's game this out. What's the Voxel strategic angle? If I'm a broker in the studio today, I can't just report on a car crash. That's, ambulance chasing. It feels cheap.
You're definitely not reporting on a car crash. You're reporting on disaster recovery. The script is all about business continuity. You pivot this immediately and you ask your clients, tenants, and landlords both a hard question.
Which is?
If a car hit your ground floor server room tonight, how fast could you be back online?
Ooh, that's powerful. You're taking a sensational headline and turning it into a risk management consultation.
It completely reframes it. It highlights the vulnerability of every street-facing asset on that corridor. It's not just about traffic counts anymore. It's about physical security. If you film a 60-second video on that, you're not an ambulance chaser. You're providing a wake-up call.
So it's about insurance, it's about operational redundancy.
That's the key phrase, operational redundancy. And I know some brokers might think, well, I sell space, I don't sell insurance. That's not my lane.
Right, the old transactional mindset.
And that's the old way of thinking. The modern broker is a business consultant who happens to transact real estate. When you ask about redundancy, you're asking, do you have a backup location, a flex space agreement? And if the answer is no,
You just found a new requirement. A satellite office or a data center.
you got it. You're exposing a pain point they didn't even know they had until they saw that car in the side of the Deloitte building.
That's smart. Okay, let's pivot. Something a bit more optimistic, but just as urgent. Industrial and aerospace.
This is the big one. This is the whale every industrial broker in the South Bay is hunting for right now.
You're talking about Machina Labs. The news dropped Friday, February 6th. They secured $124 million in Series C funding.
And that letter C is so important. Series A and B are about proving a concept. Series C is about scaling. It's growth capital. It means the investors are saying, okay, this works, now go build it. Big.
The pressure is on to expand immediately.
Immense pressure. They need to pour concrete now.
And they're not looking for a small workshop. The report is very specific. A huge chunk of this capital is for a new facility. 200,000 square feet.
200,000 square feet in the South Bay. That is, that's tough.
Tough is putting it mildly. It's a unicorn hunt.
Yeah.
But let's talk about what they do because it's fascinating. They call it a Robotic Intelligent Factory. 50 specialized robotic cells for software-defined manufacturing.
And that phrase, software-defined, is everything. This isn't your grandfather's factory with fixed tooling for one specific part.
Right, where you make one fender for 10 years, and if the model changes, you have massive retooling costs.
Exactly. With Machina Labs, these robots can change what they're building with a software update. They use AI to form metal. One day it's a car door, the next it could be a missile casing or a piece of an airframe.
So this is high-tech, high-power, heavy-load manufacturing, not a simple warehouse for Amazon boxes.
Not at all. And it feeds directly into that aerospace capital of the world narrative for the South Bay. It's the cluster effect. We just saw Robos open their aerospace HQ in El Segundo. These companies need to be near SpaceX, near Northrop, near the Air Force Base.
So what do the numbers say? How do you fit a 200,000 square foot user into this market?
This is where it gets really nuanced. Nationally, the NAR data says industrial is cooling. Vacancy is up to 7.5%. But, and it's huge but, intelligent factories are the outlier. They are bucking that trend.
And the local South Bay data is different, right?
It is. Vacancy here is much tighter, around 5.3%. But, and this is the key part, for your video script asking rents here have actually dipped about 7.5% year over year. We're at about $1.60 triple net.
So for anyone less familiar, triple net, or NNN, means the tenant pays base rent plus taxes, insurance, and maintenance.
Correct. So that $1.60 is the base, but it's lower than it was a year ago. So you've got this weird situation. Not many buildings available, but the ones that have landlords who are getting a little nervous about the rent softening.
Which means they are hungry.
They are starving for a stable, credit-worthy, capitalized tenant like Machina Labs. A 10-year lease from a company with $124 million in the bank. That solves a lot of problems.
So the Voxel angle is the inventory acquisition video.
Yes. You target landlords, you get in front of the camera, and you say, there is a capitalized, heavy-hitter tenant hunting for 200,000 square feet right now. Rents are a little soft, but I have a Series C-funded aerospace tenant ready to go. Are your off-market spaces ready to present?
You're creating urgency. You're flushing out the off-market listings that aren't on CoStar yet.
That is how you get control. Because if you control the inventory that fits the whale, you control the deal.
That's gold. Okay, let's move to our third and final topic.
Sure.
And this one, well, if you live in L.A., this one just hurts. It's the 405.
The choke point. The aorta of Los Angeles.
Caltrans dropped some news that's going to make every logistics manager in the South Bay just groan.
So, effective this past Friday night, they started extended weekend lane reductions on the 405 through the Sepulveda Pass, down to 3 lanes each way.
And this isn't just a weekend pothole fix, right? This isn't a 48-hour problem.
I wish. No, this is part of a $143.7 million pavement rehab project. It's scheduled to last through February 2026. This is the new normal for the next year.
A full year of this.
Yeah.
So why is a traffic jam a CRE topic? Why isn't this just a traffic report on the radio?
Because it feels like traffic, but it's microeconomics. You have to look at the South Bay goods movement study. The entire economy of the South Bay is goods movement. It's the ports. Everything coming in has to move north or east.
If the trucks don't move, the money doesn't move.
You got it. It's called logistics throughput. A choke point on the 405 is direct friction. It's cash burn, fuel costs, missed delivery windows.
And driver overtime because of the hours of service regulation.
Exactly. A driver sits in that pass for 2 extra hours. That's 2 hours they can't be on the road later. It kills last mile efficiency. And in logistics, that costs thousands of dollars across a fleet.
So how do we weaponize a traffic jam? What's the angle?
This is the logistics resilience script, or as I like to call it, free consulting.
I like the sound of that.
Instead of a sales pitch, you record a 60-second value add. You look in the camera and say, the 405 is compromised. Here's what that means for your supply chain. You give them alternate routes, like Sepulveda Boulevard. You suggest schedule adjustments.
It's simple, but it shows you understand their operational headaches, not just their lease expiration date.
That's it. Most brokers only call to ask, hey, want to renew? That's annoying. But if you send a video that saves a logistics manager from a massive headache today, who do you think they're going to call when they need a new warehouse?
The person who helped them navigate the nightmare. It all comes back to that broker's edge philosophy, doesn't it?
It really does. The old way is waiting to hear these stories at a happy hour 3 weeks from now.
And by then, the opportunity is long gone.
The Voxel way is being the first to interpret them. You are the filter. And this is where the human premium comes in, especially with AI. An algorithm can tell you Machina Labs got funded. It can't go on camera and empathize with a client whose trucks are stuck in traffic.
It can't contextualize the fear a tenant feels, seeing a car smashed into a lobby. That requires a human voice saying, I see this, and here's how we mitigate that risk.
And that's why production value matters. If you record this on a shaky iPhone in your car, it looks like a hobby. But if you deliver news about structural integrity and 9-figure funding rounds from a 4K studio,
it signals authority. It looks like CNN, not a casual thought you had at a red light.
It moves you from South Bay generalist who gets squeezed on fees to market authority who names their price.
So let's recap the mission for today. 3 distinct reasons to turn on a camera.
1, the structural disaster in Manhattan Beach. Your angle is risk management.
2, the 200,000 square foot requirement from Machina Labs. Your angle is inventory acquisition.
And 3, the logistics choke point on the 405. Your angle is operational resilience.
There is no excuse for a quiet day. If you're in the South Bay, these are the stories moving the money.
Absolutely. The scripts are right there. The data is there. The studio is open. Don't sit on this.
Because intel without execution is just trivia.
It's just noise.
I want to leave everyone with one final thought. If data is commoditized by AI, if everyone sees the same news feed, what's actually left?
The only unique asset you have left is your personality and your interpretation.
Exactly. So the question is, are you broadcasting that interpretation or are you keeping it a secret? Thanks for joining this deep dive. Now go get to work.